Good morning, everyone. Today is the 1st of February, 2022. It's Tuesday morning. I want to talk this morning about fantasy. Fantasy. What is the definition of fantasy? The activity of imagining things that are impossible or improbable. Something that is a product of the imagination. Something that is so far removed from normal reality. This is what is happening in our world today. People are living in a world of fantasy. They're living in a world of unreality. They're imagining things in their minds. They're concocting things that are not even possible. And they're buying into it. They're living in a fantasy world. It's fantasy to think that Richard Nixon could sit in his office in the White House and call and talk to the astronauts on the moon. Okay. It's fantasy to believe that it's fantasy to believe that there is no God, there is no creator. It's an imagination that is rooted and grounded in unreality. To believe that we are evolving over time, that we evolved from some kind of slime, or that we were planted by some other aliens from another supposed planet. All you have to do to see what unreality looks like is go to a Star Wars movie or watch Star Trek or read some of these books out there from science fiction. Fiction is unreality. That's why I never really could get into fiction, is because it's not reality. Something that is made up in somebody's mind. You know, it may have a semblance of reality. I mean, when you read Mark Twain or Huckleberry Finn, it may seem real, but it's not. It's a figment of an author's mind. To state that all men are created equal is fantasy. All men are created, but they're not created equal. That's a fantasy. Look around you, man. You ever see blind people that were created blind? Have you ever seen a person that's created with Down syndrome? Have you ever seen someone that was created with all kind of abnormalities, physical abnormalities? Look around you, man. All men are not created equal. Okay? Well, they're endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. Look around you, man. That's fantasy. Inalienable rights? Have you ever watched any videos on third world countries where people don't even have food to eat, some of them? People are living in fantasy. They're not living in reality. Now, Reality is the Word of God. Reality is truth. Reality is Christ. That is reality. By Him all things were created. By Him all things consist. He is the head of all things, and He is before all things. Reality is Christ. Now, people like atheists, like Dawkins and Hitchens, will say that that's unreality. Christ is unreality. Christ is not a... Some people even deny that Christ is a historical figure, that He even walked on the face of the earth. They equate Christ to Santa Claus. Okay? Christ walked on this earth 2,000 years ago. It's a historical fact. He was born in a manger. He was announced by the angels. He walked 33 years on this earth. He died on a cruel and rugged cross. He rose again. That's reality. He ascended back to heaven. He worked many mighty miracles while He was down here, including raising the dead to life. And the greatest miracle He ever did was giving His elect new birth, causing them to be born again by the Spirit of God. Every year around the 25th of December, people get in Unreality by singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and singing, talking about all these unreality things, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Cubit, on Donner, on Blixen, way to the top of the house, and laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he goes. People enjoy getting into fantasy, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. Okay. Well, are you living in reality, or are you living in fantasy? Is it more enjoyable for you to believe things that are not true, or to believe things that are true? Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. That's reality. Philosophers will say there are many paths that lead to God. And they'll equate all religions as having equal value. Back to equality again. The Muslim faith, the Baha'i faith, Confucianism, Hinduism, Catholicism, and on and on and on it goes. And where the fantasy stops, nobody knows. Well, I want you to think on this morning, and let us not live in a dream, imaginative, unreality world. And just remember that we have the Word of God to guide our paths, guide our feet, a lamp to our feet and a light to our pathway. Study to show ourselves approved unto God, a workman, rightly dividing the word of truth. Do you believe in genie in the bottle? Do you believe in little green figures running around? Do you believe in aliens from outer space? Well, I'm glad to know that we can have reality and can only be found in Jesus Christ. God bless.